right, guys, welcome to chapter 3. In this chapter, we're going to look at the class. So in chapter 1, we looked at the coach and we saw what was needed of us as coaches in terms of leaders, right? So our self-awareness, our awareness of others, our communication skills, our learning agility, and our influence. In the second chapter, we looked at our member and we saw that the members come in all shapes and sizes, different levels of experience, level of confidence, and mindsets and motivations. In this specific chapter, we're really going to see where the rubber meets the road, and we're going to talk about our class as a whole. And we forget that a class is not just us giving a workout. A class encompasses many, many different things, and the best coaches out there are not just good trainers, but they are good at providing an environment, a 60-minute class that will encompass these 4 elements. So number 1 that we're going to be looking at is time. And number 2 we're going to look at is the workout. Following that, we're going to be looking at the equipment, and then we're going to finish things off with the ambience, aka the music and other really small details when it comes to providing a class, right? Classes are really an experience that we're providing to our members, and this is where coaches will really take on a new role in people's lives, because we are going to touch people in a way that is way more profound than their physical fitness. So together we're going to look at the class and we're going to see how we can give the best possible class we can give. All right, we're going to talk about the equipment now. And when I talk about equipment, it's not just the actual equipment, but really it's about creating a state of flow for our members and for ourselves. A state of flow is kind of a Zen moment where you just kind of move from one piece to another, and there's just a hyper-focused state. And for our members, this will happen most likely in the actual workout, but for you as coaches, it will happen when there are less things to think about and pieces moving, and there's more actual work being done. The state of flow is something that we strive for in class. It's something that allows us to really, we know when we hit the state of flow at the end of the class, when we feel like we've hit all the markers and everything was done without too much issues, and we just feel like good about our class. So in addition to the actual equipment, we have to talk about where the equipment is placed, at what point is it placed, and also how we can use that equipment to provide it in our warm-up. So it's really a very large, it's a large piece of the puzzle that encompasses a whole lot. So we're gonna take this example for a class, right? We have back squats, 5 by 5, and we have a 21-15-9, we have a cal row, we have wall ball, and we have box jumps. So initially, we can see right away, we're going to need a barbell and a rig or a rack. We're going to need plates here. And then for a Metcon, I'm going to need a rower, I'm going to need wall balls, and I'm going to need box jumps. We need to identify the pieces that are a little bit more static and large that should be placed before classes even have begun. And so as a rule of thumb, anything that is hard to get, hard to move, and can be moved around on the floor somewhat easily to allow for more space is what I would recommend everyone kind of take out. So in this workout, the first class in the morning, I would arrive earlier and take out all the rowers and the box jumps so that they can be placed on the floor. So here we have the rowers and here we have the box jump, and these pieces can be used for the warm-up, and they can also stay there in the class, and they won't inhibit my back squats, which will be done here. Obviously, this is an ideal setup. Everyone has a different setup at their gym, so you'll need to kind of figure out what that setup is. But this little attention to detail will not only save us a ton of time, but it will allow us to kind of mold our warm-up for this piece. So when I have a rowing in my workout, I mean, it's a given. We will row in the warm-up to get our blood flowing, to get the body warm, et cetera, et cetera. but we can use the boxes to warm up for the back squats. We can choose to do unilateral movements to get the glutes and the lower body moving in a more muscularly demanding way. And we can start to talk about different techniques, about box jumps if we want to talk about it. But really, essentially what's happening here by setting up these big pieces of equipment is that we're allowing members to move around the equipment, and we're not going to waste precious 3-4 minutes of time that I can use to help my athletes ramp up for their back squat. The most amount of time that I can give my athletes for this back squat ramp up, the better for them. So it's really killing two birds with one stone here. Setting up the equipment, or maybe three really, setting up the equipment to allow for time efficiency, setting up the equipment to allow for warm-up efficiency, and setting up the equipment to allow for a flow of the class. So when I'm done my back squats here, my athletes will then move on to the workout in which they will row, box, and wall ball, ideally. If they have a wall ball station here, then potentially we will switch out the rowers to the box jumps where they can row, wall ball and box jump. When you want to set the equipment up, you want to do it in a way that allows for the athlete to move smoothly between stations. Again, trying to get a state of flow for the members. What this will also do for you, it will help you understand based on where you're placed in the class is what you're looking is going to be what you're looking for. So if I'm doing the workout here, row, wall ball, box jump, and in this specific gym, we have the box jumps, the wall ball station here, the rower here, and the box jump here. I know that the progression of the workout will go from the row to the wall ball, to the box jumps, and back to the row. And this is the movement of my member. So that means that if I'm standing here, I know exactly that all of the movement that I'm going to be looking at is the rowing. If I'm walking around over here, I know that all the movement I will be looking at is either the wall ball or the box jump. So when you set up the equipment, it would help your eye notice patterns that are kind of off-putting. Not only this, but safety reasons, when you set up these equipment where you want them to be placed, and you set them up in a way that space allows for athletes to move without the fear of them jumping onto a rower or whatnot, will be a lot safer for the athletes. So this is an attention to detail that is crucial for, like I said, time efficiency, coaching, helping your eye coach the right movement, safety reasons, et cetera, et cetera. And if we were to use, rowers are always the first thing that I kind of set up in the boxes as well. But if